Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. While I have a number of concerns with this budget, I am focusing my comments today on a few points that are important to my district, to the Banking Committee, which I chair, and as the Vice Chair of the Legislative Women's Caucus. Only 6 of California's 482 cities and 16 of the 58 counties have received a portion of the $15.3 billion allocated to California by the CARES Act. My district is one that has not received funding. I am glad to see that the May revise provides some clarity on how much counties can expect to receive. I urge that we expedite the allocation of these funds and to provide flexibility for cities and counties that have been on the front lines. The COVID-19 crisis has pushed healthcare providers and clinics to the brink of closure. The California Healthcare Foundation reported last week that 1 out of 3 of primary care providers are worried they may have to close the doors in our state. One clinic, Sansum, in my district, which is a source of health care in the region, may be forced to close its doors unless assistance is provided. Additionally, we must keep those in mind that have continued to provide for our state as essential workers, including farm workers and the undocumented population. I support the efforts of the Latino Caucus to ensure I-10 filers have access to the EITC program. As chair of the Banking Committee, I support the proposed enhancement of the DBO. We know that this pandemic is only a health crisis, but also it's an economic crisis. In times like these, financial predators and fraudsters are working harder than ever to take advantage of vulnerable communities. I introduced a bill last year and we held a hearing on this very issue because I recognize that our existing piecemeal approach to financial regulation had left many gaps that could be exploited by bad actors. I am happy to see that the DBO enhancement in the May revise and hope that we can all support this proposal, which requires no appropriation from the general fund. As Vice Chair of the Legislative Women's Caucus, we care about a feminist budget that includes access to childcare, paid family leave, support for Planned Parenthood, and economic security for women. We are requesting the rejection of the 10% cut to the SRR and RMR reimbursement rates, as well as the implementation of a new single regionalized rate structure. During the Great Recession of 2008, vast cuts were made across different areas of the state government. While the state recovered, child care field did not grow at the same rate. Approximately 70% of child care centers have closed during the shelter-in-place order. Unfortunately, some will never be able to reopen. This will have a devastating impact on women, and it will disproportionately impact women of color. We want to preserve as many centers as we can, but we must also look to expand the availability of alternative payment vouchers that provide the most flexibility. As families struggle to find childcare to return to work, including those that live in rural areas in California, with a complete absence of centers, many will return to their family, friends, and neighbors. In closing, I bring up an issue that was raised in Budget Sub 2. I am concerned that the federal CARES money is the only relief from the federal government in providing school nutrition programs. These programs will struggle to provide meals to children in the summer and fall. I urge the administration and CDE to identify and plan to ensure that children have access to meals and food. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the opportunity to provide input.